Cast.
With the wind around, you can imagine the warmer air and the wind adding to the pollen count. Air quality on the good side, but very high on the pollen count, nearly off the chart. It only goes to 12. It's at 11.7. Ash, oak, and grasses are your main pollinator right now, but pretty much everything is throwing pollen out into the air. And adding to it, the wind just helping to spread it around. 85 in Bluntstown, 88 in Mariana, 83 in Defuniak Springs, 77 our current temperature here in Panama City. And you can see the Gulf water with that wind out of the south and east, helping to push in some warmer water from our south up into the area, so the water temperature has risen to 70 degrees. That's that dry air hanging across the panhandle, or rather the peninsula. The panhandle here also dealing with drier air, and then the storm system we were talking about yesterday set to develop and then continue all the way to Saturday has started to develop. Already tornado warnings and flood warnings and lots of rain going on across Arkansas, West Tennessee, and will eventually be western Kentucky as well as Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, all under a big time or major flood risk over the next several days. For us, it's just the warmer temperatures, which means repeat weather. We'll see overnight lows down into the upper 60s and daytime highs in the mid to upper 80s with fog near the coast and that wind staying off of the water, because basically we have the same setup tomorrow as we do at 1 o'clock on Saturday, with storms still going over that quad state area there on northeast portions of Arkansas. For us, that does start to work in our direction on Sunday. We'll have enough energy around with the confluence of the moisture as well as our high pressure system here. We may pick out a stray storm to become stronger or severe. That's going to be mostly thanks to high bulk shear with that upper level winds just ripping aloft. So we could see a hailstorm or wind gusts. Unlikely to see any kind of tornadic activity because you don't have any rotation here at the surface. So tornadic risk, not a concern. Maybe some heavier rain if this setup happens where it slowly progresses across the area on Monday and then eventually clearing out of here as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. And certainly colder. We'll be talking about the 40s and possibly even lower 40s for overnight lows a couple of nights next week. But speaking of that flood threat, talk about how about a foot of rain from Little Rock all the way up to Evansville, maybe up to Columbus, Ohio, across the Ohio River and the Mississippi River. There's going to be a lot of flooding. Places that never flood up there are going to flood. For us, we're talking about really nice weather. We do have that heavier rain threat potentially on Monday, but the modeling only suggesting about maybe 1 to 3 inches of rain. The SPC, that's the Storm Prediction Center, does have us in that slight risk for severe weather on Sunday. Again, with the overall setup here, wind is going to be the threat as well as heavier rain if this is a slower progressing boundary working across the area as the models progress right now or suggest right now. I don't think that tornado risk is going to be all that high. Red flag flying out on the beach. You can see the cloud cover and fog already starting to stream in. It should start to thicken up by the time we get into the late evening hours. If you are headed to the coast, we had a red flag flying out across the board today. We will likely continue to see that red flag staying in place over the next couple of days with the Gulf water sitting at 70. We will see that wind sustained out of the south and east at 15 miles per hour. That's what we have now. We're going to see that again overnight tonight and through the day tomorrow as well. Temperatures in the morning starting out in the 60s. You'll be dealing with the fog near the coast, and inland areas will climb back up to about 90 degrees for the daytime high Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, all holding on to at least some broken cloud cover, but should be dry, nice weather with exception to fog in the overnights. And of course, we'll continue to fine tune the forecast for Sunday and Monday, and then colder conditions next week. But cooler, not cold. We're not talking frost or freeze or any agricultural concern here, just back to what should be spring-like weather.
Okay, and I was going to ask you, do you think that's going to be more toward the morning time, evenings?
Oh, when the rain comes in on cooler
Yeah.
temperatures. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll fall down to the 40s in the morning, so we'll climb back up to near 70 in the afternoon. So it's just going to be gorgeous next week.
Perfect
So not
spring days.
concerned about the cold. No, yes.
All right, thanks, Ross. Sounds good.